Hey everybody, Hake Hardware here, and this is episode 4 of Dusty Fans. We are going over an EVGA GTX 770 Dual SC, and we have another successful cleaning where we actually saw a pretty good increase in temperatures, or well, decrease in temperatures actually, increase in performance. So this is an older card. It is about 12 years old. 4 gigabytes of GDDR5, old GK104 processor, 2-slot, 230 watt TDP. We started out at 79 degrees Celsius and we dropped 5 degrees Celsius down to 74. And we also saw a pretty decent jump in our benchmark as well. So nearly 20 points there, 21 points. And this is above 40 frames per second. So we will do a giveaway for this one. Here's before and after. You can tell a lot of the dust has been removed, especially the fans. The fans are always most obvious. There's actually quite a bit of dust on the heatsink. You'll see in the video. It's quite a bit, but it cleaned up pretty good. The scuff marks and stuff are almost impossible to get out, but overall it was a really good card to clean. There's a blog entry here that goes a little bit more in depth as far as some of the, oh yeah, you can see how dirty that actually was. Those thermal pads were toast too. We go a little bit more into like the stress tests and some of the like clock stability, which actually basically stayed the same before and after. The EVGA card performed really well, honestly, even with all the dust. But feel free to read through the blog if you want. We have tons of photos in the media section. I finally upgraded my little platform here, so if you look at some of the newer photos, I've got a 3D printed stand here, which makes the little spinny thing look a little bit nicer. So feel free to look through those photos. There's some of the cleaning photos as well in here. You can see just how dusty that was. All right, for the stress test, so we saw max GPU temperature 5 degrees better, but even the average temperature was even more, 5.6 degrees. We saw an increase in the max GPU clock speed, average GPU clock speed. I mean, not a significant amount, but used a little bit less power. The average power draw was up, so sometimes it spikes a little bit in the beginning and then it kind of evens out. So it looks like we might have had less of a little spike in the beginning, but then overall it was 0.3 watts higher. And 4% down on the max fan speed. So that's always good. A little bit quieter. And we can see here temperatures just way better throughout the whole band here. And clock speed, again, for the most part, stays above the before cleaning. Power draw is a little interesting. So there is like a little bit of a spike here in the beginning as, you know, the first couple of minutes, but then it really just gets solid and stable over time. And you can see like the after cleaning, we're just slightly above as far as the wattage here. And fan speed lower the whole entire time. And GPU load pretty much stayed at 100%. So yeah, the stress test looked great. Cleaning details, I'd definitely give it a moderate. I don't think it's been cleaned before. Definitely a gaming card. I give it a poor. Sorry, whoever. I think I got this on eBay anyways. But yeah, it clearly hadn't even had the dust like blown out of it. But I mean, it still performed pretty well. 6 thermal pads, so more than we've been seeing, but less than the last card, which had 16. We didn't need to do any fan lubrication or replace any screws. 1 thermal paste application. Took about 45 minutes to clean. It was a little bit easier than the MSI 980 that we did in the last episode, and just your normal amount of supplies. Giving it a 3 out of 10 grossness factor, but we brought that back to a 0 out of 10 after the cleaning. And this is giveaway worthy. There was nothing concerning about the card. It looked like it was in great condition, and it got higher than 40 frames per second in our benchmarks. So we have at least 3 cards in the giveaway stash here. So keep subscribed to the channel. Keep an eye out for more information on how the giveaways are going to work. but we'll have quite a few. I have some pretty good lineup of cards coming in the next few episodes, and most of them are going to be giveaway worthy. Not all of them. I've got some really old cards like 580s, 400 series cards. I think 400 is about as far back as it goes. So as far as the leaderboards, it was the hottest before cleaning, and it's also the warmest after cleaning. So it's number 4 for after cleaning. Best temperature drop though, which is great. Highest power draw, which is crazy because it drew more power than the 980, and this is a 770. So pretty big increase in efficiency. Second highest benchmark behind the 980. Number 1 grossest GPU so far, but I can tell you right now, looking at some of the cards in the backlog, like that's going to get bumped down pretty far. Number 2 for cleaning time, and number 2 for oldest GPUs. So overall, it was really great card to clean. It was very easy to work with, and I love the EVGA styling. I think it looks great. So let's jump into the cleaning video here. We are doing the quick cuts. Maybe I was a little bit too quick on some of the cuts. I'm still learning the best way to edit these videos. So just bear with me as I, over the next couple episodes, fine tune some of the things. We'll just get started here. The video quality is much better on this. It's going to get even better. The sound quality, unfortunately, is so bad though that I had to actually mute the sound. So you won't hear any sound, but I have a solution to make the sound really good in the next video that we do. So the next episodes, we're going to see some big improvements. We should see 4K 60 frames per second. I'll be using an iPhone for the top-down view instead of the GoPro. The GoPro overheated. You'll see at the end of this, kind of sad. You won't see the full assembly, but oh man, look at all that dust. It was so bad. It was actually kind of complicated, or not complicated, but a little confusing at first on how to get that fan shroud off. You actually have to pull off the heatsink and everything first because there's a screw. You can kind of see it there at the top of the heatsink, a little screw hole that is used by the fan shroud, and you can't get to that until you take it off the PCB. So remove the heatsink first, then take the fan shroud off. And the fans, you can see all of the thermal pads. They were in horrible shape, totally like, they were still sticky, but you could just tell they were really old and probably didn't do too much. So this is the first I've seen. It was kind of a pain to make the cutouts. They're like 3 little chips that you kind of have to account for when you're doing that big square thermal pad. Again, my favorite part, scrubbing everything down. I thought I was going to get that shroud looking so good. When it was wet, it like looked immaculate, but as it dries out, you can start to see more of the scuffs. And yeah, just scrubbing everything down. GPU, always make sure I get the bristles in all of the different ports, and I take that opportunity to get the rest of the thermal paste off. This one, the bracket, again, like it was different than the other cards I've done. The bracket you kind of had to do after. Usually bracket's the first thing I do, but you actually have to wait until you get the fan shroud off to get to the bolt for the bracket. So I forgot to take that off. I ended up taking it off while we're cleaning it. No big deal. Everybody loves cleaning fans. We'll luckily we got the quick edits here just to kind of cruise through. And then putting on the thermal pads. This was not as painful as the 980, the MSI 980 gaming, but still kind of painful because of this little square thing. But I was able to just get the cutouts to work okay. And we got that on there. Again, these are never like, they don't have to be perfect. They just need to not cause any interference issues, like having them the wrong thickness or having them overlap in areas where they shouldn't. But if you get a pretty good like 90 to 80% contact on the chip, I'd say more towards like 90% contact on the chip, you're going to be fine. I'm definitely not an expert at creating these things, and putting them on the card is also kind of a pain. So getting this on was also a pain because you have to have the backing plate on as well. So you kind of like sandwich it together as you start putting in the screws, and the screws don't go in super easy. There's like a sort of like an initial interference. I'm not sure if it's supposed to capture the screws so they don't fall out. I unscrewed them all the way so that they came out, but yeah, it's kind of a pain. Other than that, everything went together really easy. Thermal paste, like we're seeing these improvements, and I'm wondering if it's the thermal paste because the last two GPUs we've seen good improvements, and those are the ones where I switched to the Thermalright THX paste, and it's much stickier than the old stuff, but maybe it's working better. I don't know. Or maybe these cards were just a little bit worse for wear. But we're coming up on the end here. Unfortunately, because I was doing 4K 60 frames per second with the GoPro and it's static, it overheated. I kind of had a feeling it might, but it didn't make any noise, so I didn't notice that it had overheated, and I just kept putting the card together. So that's all we have for the assembly. I do have actually like an angled video, but it didn't turn out very good. So this is a lesson learned for some of the video stuff here. We're going to be switching to an iPhone for the top down, and I think that'll make it actually a lot better. So looking forward to that. But yeah, this was a great card. I think we're going to do another EVGA card next. I don't know. Subscribe and you'll see which card we do next. And hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching this episode of Dusty Fans. As always, if you have an old, nasty, dirty GPU sitting in a closet somewhere collecting dust that you'd like to donate to the channel and have it featured in an episode of Dusty Fans, please reach out to the email in the description. It's going to be dirtygpu@hakedev.com. Any GPU that gets donated to the channel, which scores higher than 60 frames per second on our 1080p benchmark and doesn't have any obvious signs of failure, gets donated back out to the community. So if you have something that you'd like to see featured on the channel, please reach out. And thanks for watching this episode of Dusty Fans, and I'll see you in the next one.